What if Muzan had killed Nezuko? Muzan killed the entire Kamado family, only leaving Nezuko behind, who may turn into a demon. But what if he had killed Nezuko as well? How the story of Demon Slayer would have progressed in such a scenario? Would the story be different? Would killing Nezuko be beneficial for Muzan? And how it would have affected Tanjiro? We have three interesting theories on how the story of Demon Slayer would possibly progress if Muzan had killed Nezuko. So let's dive in. But first, make sure to subscribe to our channel, it would help us a lot. Thanks for your kindness. Let's start now first with this. You might ask, why would Muzan kill Nezuko? To understand this, we must understand why Muzan kept Nezuko alive and why he turned her into a demon. Muzan Kibutsuji has a weakness. He cannot tolerate sunlight. He had been searching for a way to create a demon that could walk in sunlight, and he discovered that Nezuko had a unique ability to resist the sun's rays. This made her a valuable asset to Muzan, and he turned her into a demon to study her and unlock the secret to her power to resist sunlight, which is why he did not kill her. However, if Muzan had known that Nezuko would retain her human emotions and not become the mindless, subservient demon he desired, he likely would have killed her. And this is where our theory number 1 begins. In the first theory, with Nezuko dead, Muzan now would likely continue searching for other methods to overcome sunlight, even resorting to extreme measures if needed. One thing is for sure, that by killing Nezuko, Muzan's best chance of overcoming his greatest weakness is gone. But will this stop him from pursuing his goal? I don't think so. Muzan would now try even harder to find another way to walk in the sunlight. It means Muzan would invest more efforts than ever into finding new methods of combating the sun. He would go to any lengths, pursue any thread of hope to acquire what he craved. No price would be too high and no act too extreme. So what options does Muzan have now? Most probably, the demon progenitor would turn his considerable intellect toward unlocking the secrets of Nezuko's gifts, like studying her physiology and blood, looking for clues. He could even do hideous acts such as kidnapping and experimenting on children who resemble Nezuko. He wouldn't even hesitate conducting brutal experiments on lower ranks, trying to replicate Nezuko's immunity. Also, Muzan could pore through ancient lore, searching for forbidden rituals or artifacts offering protection from sunlight. He would dispatch upper ranks across the land to investigate rumors and legends. Even the faintest rumor would be tracked down. In pursuit of his goal, Muzan would blindly take even darker options such as seeking out ancient evil entities at the risk of his very soul. He would explore profane magics and alchemy techniques, including practices like injecting his own flesh with sacred sunstones, enduring excruciating pain. Muzan would scour the land for answers, chasing every rumor, exploiting every resource. He would pursue any slight chance to walk in daylight's sweet glow. Through it all, Nezuko's memories would be the sole proof that overcoming the sun was possible for the demons, and Muzan would leave no stone unturned to achieve it. So after all this, will Muzan be able to overcome sunlight? Well, this question is difficult to answer, but based on the current data, finding a way to overcome the sun without Nezuko would be tremendously difficult, if not impossible. Nezuko's natural sun resistance was likely based on a very rare convergence of factors, the exact way Muzan's blood interacted with her human spirit and body. Replicating that could require eons of experimentation, so it will be very difficult. But it does not mean that it is not possible. So what do you think? Will Muzan be able to find a way to overcome sunlight without Nezuko? Do let me know in the comments down below. And now, let's move to another possibility, how the story of Demon Slayer would have progressed if Nezuko had died in the first episode. In the second theory, Nezuko's death would break Tanjiro, leading him to take darker paths of vengeance and grief. With his beloved sister Nezuko slain by Muzan's cruel hands, Tanjiro would be consumed by grief and rage. The compassionate boy, who only wished to turn his demonic sister human again, would vanish, replaced by a shell hungry for vengeance. Tanjiro's fury and hatred would steer him down a dark path from which he could never return. Initially, Tanjiro may have continued his training under Urokodaki, honing his water-breathing skills into a lethal edge aimed solely at spilling Muzan's blood. Each demon he struck down would be visualized as the progenitor himself, every kill bringing him closer to the coveted revenge. But over time, Tanjiro might realize that he lacks the raw power to confront the Demon King directly. His human limitations are too great to fight against someone as powerful as Muzan. So, out of grief and vengeance, he would possibly forsake his humanity, using the forsaken methods of turning a human into a demon. If destroying his soul was the price for the strength to crush Muzan, so be it. With vicious cursed blood coursing through his veins, Tanjiro would rapidly ascend the demon ranks, ripping apart any who stood in his path. His sole motivation remained bathing his hands in Muzan's blood, no matter the cost. He would become the very thing he once hated most. Tanjiro's blood swath through the ranks would soon demolish the 12 Kizuki, removing Muzan's mightiest servants. Each victory would swell his power and pride, but it would never be enough to match Muzan himself. However, even with formidable demonic power, Tanjiro would still be unable to defeat Muzan, as his rage and anger would prove to be his biggest resistance. In a final confrontation, Muzan would sadly crush the warped Tanjiro like an insect. But even dismembered and battered unto death, Tanjiro would roar out his eternal hatred, cursing his foe with his last breaths. In the end, his descent into darkness would change nothing, but it would claim the soul of a once noble warrior. Muzan would go on unchanged, another century of demonic rule stretching ahead unfettered. All of Tanjiro's sacrifice and debasement, the ruin of his humanity, would be rendered worthless. This would be Tanjiro's ultimate tragedy, to have lost everything, friends, family, and self, chasing an impossible revenge. In death, his soul would find no peace. Nezuko's gentle light had kept Tanjiro tethered to his compassion, but that light was extinguished forever. Without her guidance, Tanjiro stumbled blindly into the darkness and was consumed. Her loss left the story devoid of its moral center, its heart. Had Nezuko survived, redemption remained possible for Tanjiro, as it did for many demons. But her needless death meant the tale could only spiral into depths darker and bleaker, where its noblest soul fell irrevocably from grace, and the Demon King's laugh echoed eternal. This descent marks the story's final, ugly transformation. From a chronicle of hope, bonds, and sacrifice into a tale of tragedy, vengeance, and ruin, a reminder that light, once lost, can leave in its wake a void too great for mortals to bear, and that the noblest souls, when robbed of their guiding stars, can be led so very, very astray. Okay, this was a sad ending, but let's see what do we have in our final theory. In the final theory, Tanjiro chooses the nobler path. Rather than become a demon himself, he vows to reform the Demon Slayer Corps, transforming it from a guild of killers into a force of guardians who protect life. According to this theory, Nezuko's death along with their family would encourage Tanjiro to never let it happen with anyone ever again. Though Tanjiro's still pissed over his family's demise, but his mother memories won't let him astray. His siblings' love and innocence will keep him the pure soul he was. Even if rage or anger disturbs him, he would remember his family values. So, he would remain on the right path. As per this theory, after laying his family to rest, Tanjiro journeys to the Demon Slayer headquarters and prostrates himself before Obayashiki. He begs to be trained not just as a slayer, but as a leader capable of changing their ways for the better. Obayashiki sees the potential within the grave-stricken yet earnest boy and decides to take a chance on him. As Tanjiro masters water breathing and bonds with fellow trainees Zenitsu and Inosuke, he witnesses several Slayer missions firsthand. Some demons are slaughtered indiscriminately regardless of intelligence or guilt. Some Slayers bully civilians they're meant to protect. Tanjiro realizes that too many members have lost their way, consumed by hatred rather than acting with wisdom. He presents his reform proposals to Obayashiki, arguing that the corps must do more than blindly kill. They should study demons to find possible cures, use non-lethal force when possible, and above all else, value all life while protecting the weak. Obayashiki approves implementing these reforms under Tanjiro's leadership. But Tanjiro faces resistance from traditionalist demon slayers who see him as a native upstart. They think him a foolish child unaware of demons' evil. As Tanjiro rises through the ranks, he spearheads sweeping changes. Research divisions are created to find demon cures. Tanjiro leads by example, always striving to save rather than kill. By the era's end, the Demon Slayer Corps have been reforged. Their numbers are few but dedicated, their ranks filled with virtuous souls. Villages see slayers not as frightening slayers but as heroic guardians of humanity. Even some demons come to respect them and surrender peacefully. Tanjiro never forgets his sister's death, but honors her memory through his life's work, creating a brighter future. A future where slayers are paragons of justice, where demons can find redemption, and where violence is the last resort, not the only solution. A difficult path lies ahead, but guided by Nezuko's spirit, Tanjiro knows he will prevail through compassion, not vengeance. Through Tanjiro's wise and compassionate leadership, the Demon Slayer Corps is transformed into a truly benevolent force for good. And in the climatic battle against Muzan, the Demon Slayer Corps had an upper hand. Some of the Muzan's victims, manipulated against their will, are inspired by Tanjiro's example to rebel against their cruel master. These demons fight side by side with the Slayers, saving countless lives. And it is their inside knowledge of Muzan's weaknesses that ultimately allows Tanjiro to emerge victorious. So in the end, love and redemption prove stronger stronger than hatred, ideals exemplified by Tanjiro and made real through his reform of the corpse, Nezuko's spirit lives on through him, lighting the way towards a brighter future. So which theory did you like the most? Do let us know in the comments down below, and if you want to check out other cool Demon Slayer videos, check out this other cool video that appears on the screen. Click on it.